So this is my quick review of the new film by Iñárritu called The Revenant. I'd like to just say that this is a new thing for me, reviewing movies in this way. I'm going to call this review Take It or Leave It. And I'm going to do as many of these as I can. But my perspective isn't really going to be much of a technical type of review about specifics or trivia. It's really going to be about just kind of looking at the power of cinema as I see it in this culture and the future, what I see potentially for the future of cinema. I don't see a lot of movies because I don't really like a lot of films out there. I'm not a film geek or like somebody who kind of knows an extensive amount historically about cinema. I watch as much as I can. I make films. But most importantly, I try to get to the heart of what it is that I've seen and the impact it had on me. I think more from a spiritual perspective, an intellectual perspective, an artistic perspective. So The Revenant is a beautiful film for me. It is. I haven't really had a cinematic experience like that in a long time, where I sat in a theater riveted, heartbroken, in love and longing for some greater truth in my being, I suppose. Part of that came from this unique ability of being able to witness a character traversing a vast, lonely landscape. And being so intimately close to somebody out there alone, which isn't something that happens very often in movies or in books, where we truly are almost as an audience floating spirits accompanying a person's journey through something very difficult. That's a very unique perspective. The fact that Iñárritu is being funded to do this on a mainstream level is extraordinary to me. It gives me hope that maybe America will start making good films again, and Hollywood, the Hollywood machine, is capable of something actually profound. And this movie is profound, and it's profound on many levels. One level for me is this incredible topic of the fur trade, this aspect of American history that's pretty dark and sort of set the course of consumerism on its track. And for me, the Glass character that DiCaprio plays in the film, Hugh Glass, I believe his name is, the Glass portrays for me the sort of last stronghold of the decency, the decent spirit in American history. Somebody holding out. Yes, he was a trapper. Yes, he was part of the industry of commercialism at that time, which was, I believe, about 4/5 of the economic income of the country, which is huge. I mean, the fur trade was it in terms of the economy of the North American continent. And so here's this man who acknowledges in the film to himself, and then of course Iñárritu through the direction and of course the incredible cinematography. They indicate to us that there's something else going on. That this character, that Glass, is looking at love, is looking at his connection to his son as truly the valuable aspect of what is important to him, what's worth holding on to. And so as he goes on this journey, this long, lonely, vast journey that for me is just kind of like the journey of all of us, the journey of man. Whether you read the scriptures or you read great novels, there is, this reference among the best of the best that we truly are on this long journey. A lot of it is desert. In this case, it's long, vast landscapes of snow, of formidable environments, of dangerous environments. We live in an insulated time now. We don't really see that directly, and yet it's the same in many ways. The long stretches of time before we make these profound connections to ourselves, to our family, to the loved ones in our lives that really kind of lift us up and above the condition of being alive. So that's a spiritual thing, and it's very important that this happens in this film, that we are shown that and we are witnesses to it, and we are there with DiCaprio as he portrays Hugh Glass, and as he traverses in loneliness this horrific landscape that could kill him at any time. And what I get out of it ultimately is that he's fighting for something greater. He's fighting to hold on to his breath in order to not enact revenge. I really don't think it's a revenge movie ultimately, and I think one could argue that it is easily, because it's sort of spelled out for you in that way. Even at the end, he says revenge is in God's hands, something like that, and he kind of lets it go, and he doesn't commit the murder, which I think is a good choice on the part of the writers and the director. But I do want to say that ultimately he was trying to hold on to that love while he was still alive. Those memories, those longings for that wholeness. He was trying to hold on to that while he was alive. And that to me is absolutely the elemental essence of this film. And that also transcends the market that, of course, Hardy's character was portraying. In the character of Fitzgerald. And so Fitzgerald is that typical entrepreneur that I feel like a lot of people might associate these days with the CEOs and all those people paying themselves these incredible bonuses. There in the film, it's portrayed simply. I think the same thing is happening now, except it is much more complex. It is much more abstracted, and therefore we get lost in all of the details of everything happening around us. But ultimately, it's the same thing. And here it is laid out before us. So I hope people can really kind of hold on to that, see that in the film. I encourage everybody to see it, to support him. He's going to win all the Academy Awards, no doubt. Best director, best cinematography, best actor, supporting actor, costume. I mean, it's going to win everything. That's my prediction. Thanks for tuning in. This is Take It or Leave It. Leave me a comment. This is my first one. See ya. Thanks. One last quick thing. I love how the camera is constantly being breathed on in the film. Snow falls on it. DiCaprio, his breath, is all over the lens. It's beautiful stuff. Thank you, Mr. Iñárritu. Okay, bye bye.